You leave for vacation and literally everything happens.
Why does it have to be like this?
Welcome to From Center Ice, the podcast. My name is Courtney.
I'm Jacalyn.
And
it's been a while.
It has been a while.
Like a month, huh?
Has it been that long?
It feels like it.
It was before the playoffs started.
Let me see when our last episode posted. I promoed on May 9th.
Oh my gosh.
So it's very close to a month.
It is very close to a month.
Whoops.
Whoopsies. Well, you went on vacation though.
I did.
Where'd you go?
Well, first I went up north with my dad to go camping.
That did happen, didn't it?
For a couple of days.
That feels like it was about 3 years ago.
It really does. It honestly
does. Not make
does.
sense.
No, I left on a Saturday and I came back on a Wednesday. And then we left that Friday to go to Florida for a week. And we had like a timeshare on the beach, which was absolutely amazing. And I couldn't have really asked for that to go any better. It was just me, my mom, and my two little brothers. And it was really good. It was a total family bonding experience and everything. Nothing bad really. Well, my mom got stung by a jellyfish.
What?
The day before we left.
What?
Yeah. They had, what do they call it? Like the red tide or something like that, which is like this disgusting orange algae.
Ew.
That like washes up to the front of the shoreline.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently jellyfish also live within this algae. And they stung my mom like right on her thigh above her knee.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we got out of the ocean because, for one, that was disgusting to even walk through.
Fair. Was it like squishy?
Yeah, it just felt like walking through really, really bad seaweed.
Ew.
Yeah, it was not good. And then it was like also like slimy. It's a really bad. Don't go on the red tide if that's what it's called. It's called something.
At least that was the end of your trip.
Yes, the first few days that we were there, like all the way up until probably Wednesday or Thursday, there was like a little bit of it in the water, but we just thought, hey, it's the ocean. Like there's going to be some seaweed or gross. Algae or whatever.
And terrifying.
Also terrifying, yes. But the Gulf was clear and it was just really nice. We spent a lot of time in the ocean, and then our condo had a 16-person hot tub, which is basically a pool.
Oh my goodness.
And it was
That's intense.
We spent a lot of time in there.
I can imagine.
And we had like a third floor like doorway entry, but it was an open loft to the fourth floor. So like you could come inside the door and either go upstairs or come towards the kitchen. And past the kitchen is they had a Murphy bed. So it was nice to just like be able to get that out of the way during the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you go up the stairs, there's a bathroom up there. I mean, a bedroom, also a bathroom.
Okay.
Both of these things. And a laundry room.
Interchangeable, really.
Yeah, you can sleep in a tub. I mean, that makes it a bedroom, right? You can go to the bathroom on a bed. It's frowned upon, but you can do it.
I wouldn't advise it.
No, that sounds like a bad time because then you got to clean it up, and nobody wants to do that.
I mean, you don't have to.
Please clean it up.
But that's even less advice.
Please clean it up if you do that. Especially in a timeshare where there's other people living there throughout the year.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
But yeah, so my brothers slept together and me and my mom slept together because there were only the two beds. Mm-hmm. And
who got the Murphy bed?
We actually alternated nights.
Really?
We did. So every other night, my brothers got it first, so they got it more times because we were there from Saturday to Saturday. But yeah, I don't know. It was really, really good. And nice. Eddie, my 16-year-old brother, was able to drive part of the way for us, which was very nice. I thought it was only legal for him to drive in Illinois since he only has his permit, but apparently that's not true. He just can't. He can't drive past 10 o'clock on weeknights and 11 o'clock on weekends. Yes,
really?
Fridays and Saturdays, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
So, yeah, he was able to help us with the drive, and we just busted it out. We drove straight through both times. We left on a Friday evening, and we got there on a Saturday afternoon, and then we left Saturday late morning and got back Sunday at 7 a.m.
That's a drive.
I was very glad that Memorial Day was that Monday. So, like, my mom didn't have to go back to work the day after we got back. And,
that would have been rough.
And the boys didn't have school. Yeah. So
they're not out of school yet?
No, they've got, like, probably only a couple more days at this point. Yeah, because I think they said 9 or 10 days after we got back.
How did they do that with vacation?
They told their teachers ahead of time, and they either gave them work ahead of time or just said, one of Ian's teachers said, I don't give out assignments to kids on vacation. So, like, none of my teachers were ever like that. They're like, here's this packet, and they plop a big old thing on your desk.
No kidding. That's awesome.
I was very happy for him.
Yeah, right?
Also very jealous, but it's way past that.
Also that, but yeah, we're not going for it. That sounds like a great time, though.
Yeah, it was really nice. So what have you been up to?
Oh, you know.
I know.
Watching the playoffs.
So many games.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Watching the Leafs lose.
They did do that.
Again.
They did that.
So the last time we talked, the playoffs hadn't started yet.
No.
Interesting. But yeah, so the playoffs were a thing. I was covering the Leafs on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, you were.
And now we finally have a custom URL.
We do, because Leaf fans and Montreal fans got us there.
Watching content.
Oh my God.
You like watching Leafs fan pain is what I have discovered.
That's what it is.
It is now no mystery why Steve Dangle is so popular.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, not just because he's awesome.
Well, he's
and
great, yes.
He's fun to watch and entertaining and all that, but the Leafs are nothing but pain. So he's accumulated a lot of that over the years. It's funny because, so obviously there were there would have been 8 videos because I did a preview one.
Right.
And
they went to Game 7 because they lost their 3-1 lead.
Fuck, man.
In the series.
They did. But all of the videos about the losses had exponentially more views.
So many more.
And exponentially more comments. I was just like, all right, yo, I see you.
I see you.
I see you. But yeah, the YouTube channel kind of exploded a little since you left.
Well, I mean, you also make very quality content.
Thank you.
I know you're bad at accepting compliments.
Very bad.
I will never stop complimenting you because you're amazing at everything you do.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
I try my hardest.
You do great.
Thank you. We had under 100 subscribers going into the playoffs.
Sure did.
And now it's over
500 plus. Yeah. That's insane. That is insane to me.
Me too.
It's been like, what, 2 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
It's like once that first 100 hit, it just kept rolling. It was kind of amazing to watch. The thing I least expected was how many Montreal fans would be watching and responding. So it's like, I'm making videos about the Leafs.
Yes, but...
like, from a very biased standpoint, I am a Leafs fan.
Yes.
But I guess stating that I'm a Leafs fan and not approaching them, like, objectively...
yeah.
It makes more sense.
Also, I'm not exactly educated on it. I haven't looked, but I don't know if there's anybody quite covering Montreal like that. So I
don't know. I haven't looked either. I'm sure there is, just because there's so many Montreal fans.
That's true.
That's
true. Somebody's got to be doing something.
Yeah. But there were so many comments like, I'm a Habs fan, but I really enjoyed your analysis of the game. I was like, thank you.
Side note, I just
appreciate
almost tried to drink the microphone.
Please don't do that. I don't think that you'll get anything out of it.
I was like,
Everybody watching, if you're watching on the YouTube, would have been like...
Thankfully, it was a thought in my head before it was an action.
That's good.
Yeah.
I also would have been very confused, like... What's happening? It's not an ice cream cone.
It's not. It's really not.
But we did just get done recording another... basically 3-hour-long podcast.
We did.
Because the guys from the Canadiens and Tomahawks podcast invited us on. So, Words! Invited us on. So we hopped on there, and that was a good time.
Yeah, that should be up soon. And
they said the audio would be up tomorrow. And
today is Saturday. Today is Saturday.
Saturday,
June 5th.
for not very much longer.
No.
It's not the latest we've been recording.
It's really not.
I'm sitting on my leg again.
Stop doing that.
I can't sit like a normal person.
Oh, I dyed my hair.
You did.
It was green and then regular on the
sides.
now. But now the sides are green and the top is blue.
There you go. That's exciting.
Yeah. Very exciting.
But yeah, I've basically just been watching the playoffs. I don't think that I've done anything else exciting, honestly.
Oh, I started going to a chiropractor.
That's good.
Yeah. Why? Because I was just kind of hoping they could help me with general body discomfort.
That's a good reason to go to a chiropractor.
Yeah, so I went on Thursday morning.
Okay.
And I had like my consult and everything, and they did x-rays, and we like briefly went over what they found. Mm-hmm. And then we did some light stretching, and then I went yesterday for a follow-up. And they put me on like a TONS machine where it has like those pads and the electrical current and all that. They put that on my lower back and it felt amazing. And then we went over my x-rays in depth. And apparently I either have quite a large kidney stone or just kidney damage from past infections.
Ouch.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
That doesn't sound like a good time.
No. Thankfully, it hasn't tried to enter my ureter or whatever it's called. Like the part that leads down to the pee-pee zone.
Ah, okay. Scientific terms. And
absolutely. I'm a doctor. So that's why it's not hurting me, I guess.
Can they take it out?
I don't know. I would have to go to another doctor for that.
Chiropractors
don't take out kidney stones.
What? Come on. I'm sure they could figure it out.
But yeah, my hips are uneven, which I already knew.
Mine too.
Hey, my spine does like a compression twisty thing down at the bottom.
Ooh.
And up here behind like my neck area is pretty much locked.
Cool.
So that's fun.
Cool. Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Was that it? That might have been it.
That sounds like a terrible analysis, really.
Yeah, it's not great news. Oh, my spine. Okay, so your spine's supposed to be like S-shaped, right?
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
But only slightly. Like it's just supposed to do like a slight little S.
And if it's like super curvy, it's
bad thing.
Yeah, it has a name. Is it scoliosis?
Scoliosis.
Or is that something else?
That's when your spine is just like the wrong
You continue talking.
shape.
I will look it up.
Anyway, my spine got too much curve at the bottom. So it puts a lot of pressure, like pretty much on everything because that's where you hold most of your weight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
That's no fun.
No. Were we right?
Scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine.
So that's when the spine do like these.
Yeah.
Not
so
like
if
these.
you're curvy. To the side.
To the side. I had a little bit of that, but that's because my hips are uneven. So.
That would do it.
Yeah.
That would do it.
So, yeah, then he cracked me a couple times, which was terrifying.
I can imagine.
But, yeah, he said to get the best treatment. I'm so on the fence about chiropractors.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of them are total scams. And I don't know how to trust them to actually be helping me over just like making my body do a cool noise and sending me on my way and taking my money, you know?
We are music producers, not doctors.
Right, yeah. So he said that I should come for the next 4 weeks, 3 times a week.
Holy hell.
Which is a lot.
That's
Monday,
a lot.
Wednesday, Friday, yes. He said they would only do it for the 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I should be feeling a lot better by then. But again, I don't know if I trust
3 times a week is a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. So I have an appointment on Monday. I don't know when my next one will be because I don't know if I'm going to go
Probably
on Wednesday. Maybe, or we can spread it out and it'll take longer. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. You
could always get a second opinion.
Yeah, I'm kind of like obviously hoping it'll help. That's what I'm trying to get out of this, but I figured it's worth it because I have good insurance and my copay is like $12.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like that's worth it to try and get some relief.
Mm-hmm.
So
and if it doesn't work, it's only 4 weeks.
Right. And at the worst, like, it was just a dude cracking my back, my neck.
Yeah, which, I mean, will probably feel good anyway.
Yeah, at the time.
So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Uh-huh.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It is. I'm super on the fence. Like,
go
just
for a week
holding
and
like
see
this
how
on
you
the
feel.
top of the fence. Yeah.
And if you're still sketched out after a week.
Because I really, really, really want to put my hope into this. Like, I want to be like, yeah, this guy's going to help me. I'm going to feel better. Why would I not be positive about this?
That's really how it goes on the first try.
Yeah. So I'm just scared I'm going to waste my time and money. But I figured
But if it works.
Yeah.
Then it's helpful.
Yes. That is why I even tried.
You might as well give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I'm getting my motorcycle ready to go tomorrow.
That's also exciting.
Yeah, I got to do an oil change, and then it'll be ready for the season, and I can actually ride.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a whole new light kit.
Damn right you did.
I sure did. We haven't put it up yet.
No, but it's an exciting venture.
It is. I've had them for a few days now, and I haven't put them up yet because that's a lot of work. Trying to figure all that out. But it'll be exciting once it's up and ready to go.
Yeah.
Because the ones that we have now, I have to do, like, gymnastics to move around them.
It's rough in here, guys. You have no idea.
And they take up a lot of room.
They're so big.
Like, they do their job.
Oh, absolutely. But they take up
huge.
a lot of room.
Yeah.
Like
and
a
the
lot.
new ones I got are very small.
And they're round.
Because they're, like, flat and round.
Just big.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting once those are up.
Very.
Other than that, I'm going to try to start streaming soon.
Hell yeah.
NHL.
Some chill.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a frustrating game.
I am unbelievably bad at sports games.
I still say that we need to do a stream where I try to teach you how to play.
Oh, God. It'll be so embarrassing, but I'm down.
I will go easy on you. I probably wouldn't even have to because
I'll
the game
probably
is so
score on myself and, like...
It's incredibly hard to do so.
Really?
Unless you're in a very tight game.
Okay.
And it's very crucial that you don't score on yourself.
Then that's when you can do it.
Then it will happen.
Of course.
Yeah. But I figure it's something to do in the off season when there's no hockey actually on the TV.
Right.
But there's still some now with the playoffs.
Yeah, there is.
Well, we missed the whole first round. So let's go over some of these series that we had.
All right, let's go.
There was Colorado and the St. Louis Blues.
Is this your bracket? Or is
this is just the bracket. Because my bracket
is fucked.
Is destroyed.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's I haven't even looked at it. There's no point in looking at it. It's messed up. So Colorado and St. Louis.
Yeah, they swept them.
Sweep.
They swept the Blues.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, nothing. That's not true. Not many things make me happier than seeing Jordan Binnington lose.
Oh, it's great. Oh, it's so great.
Especially when
He's
he tries
such a
to
fucking
act all
punk.
tough.
He is a punk.
And the not Twitter, the Instagram things that happened after the sweep with the Avs players.
Right.
The Grubauer said he posted something like memories from the first round.
That makes me so happy.
I think it was Tyson Jost. He posted a picture. It was him celebrating, and the puck was behind Binnington, and he said, "I didn't score this goal, but I just really like the picture."
I missed that one. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, that may be my favorite thing to come out of the playoffs.
Honestly.
So but it's between the Avs players dunking on Binnington and Carolina obliterating Nashville.
Oh my God.
I don't know how all of these people became so sassy, but after the first round.
I love it. They finally hired the right people. Well, some of the teams did.
Some of them did. But I didn't anticipate a sweep. I knew Colorado was going to win.
Oh, right.
Because they just seem like an unstoppable force at the moment, like an avalanche. Loud noises.
Loud noises.
Oh, I can mute this now that we're not doing a...
Why is Crystal texting you and not me?
I'm sorry. But, yeah, they seem like an unstoppable force at the moment, and the Blues just kind of, like, crawled into the playoffs. It was between them and the Coyotes. And the Yotes just didn't have enough steam to take them over.
Sounds about right.
And then Perron was on the COVID list, and he was the Blues' top scorer.
Right.
So everything was looking negative for the Blues, but I didn't think they were going to get swept.
No.
But they did, and it was beautiful. Especially since going into the series, Ryan O'Reilly was very confident that they were going to beat the Avs.
Yeah, he was very cocky.
Oh, I love it. I hate St. Louis so much.
That
was just glorious.
I love watching the Blues lose.
Me too.
One of my favorite things in this life.
So much. And then there were the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Islanders. And the Islanders beat them in 6.
They sure did.
And what's confusing to me, so the Islanders won game 1.
Right.
Because they had Ilya Sorokin in net, their rookie goaltender. Varlamov was injured, so he couldn't play game 1. Then he came back and played game 2. Varlamov did. And they lost that game.
Okay.
So, Sorokin won game 1. Why would you not ride the hot hand into game 2?
That's a good question.
You don't just say, oh, my starter's available. Let's go with him. Which, I mean, I guess maybe I get the thought process, but your rookie won game 1.
Right.
So, Varlamov lost game 2. They stuck him back in net for game 3, and the Islanders lost that game.
Okay.
So they went back to Sorokin in game 4.
Yes.
And they won out. Why? And Tristan Jarry for the Pens. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Bad.
Did you see the turnover he made to Josh Bailey? He basically passed it to him.
He did.
And then he goes back in his net, and I don't know what he did, but it didn't look like goaltending.
No.
And so they lost that game. That was just a very strange series.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, who's doing what and why is kind of how I felt the whole time.
Pretty much. Pretty much. That's an accurate description. I'm glad the Pens lost.
Yes.
I never count out Sidney Crosby from the jump.
Right.
And
he is Crosby.
Also, the Penguins ended up first in their division this year.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened. But it did. Okay. And they made that trade for Jeff Carter from LA. And everybody was thinking he's just all washed up and whatnot. And he just comes out playing for the Pens and scoring all these goals. I'm like, what is happening? But they lost. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Boston and Washington.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a tighter series.
I thought the Caps were going to win.
I was hoping that the Caps were going to win. Not that I necessarily like either team, but I felt like the Caps would have less of a chance getting to the final if they won than Boston does.
That's fair.
Because Boston just always seems to luck into wins.
Yeah.
They lost tonight.
They did. 4-1.
But they also won that series against Washington 4-1. I thought it would be closer.
I did too.
I don't know what
I would have
happened.
said in 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed it would be over in 5.
The Caps had all the goalie injuries and problems. They lost their starter, Vanacek, for game 1, so Craig Anderson had to come in. And then they played Samsonov, and I don't know. But they just couldn't score goals.
You can't win that way.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. And they didn't.
I can tell you that from Blackhawks' perspective.
Yeah. Or an Ice Hogs perspective.
You know that one too.
Nobody likes to score for them.
No. Except for Brandon Peary, when he's allowed to play.
Yeah, when he's just graced with a lineup spot instead of
not sitting on the taxi squad.
Fucking taxi squad. Once we get to the end of the playoffs and the season is actually over, we'll have to talk about things we liked and disliked from this year.
Yeah.
That's one of them. But 4-1, the Caps only won game 1.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Why?
Part of me thinks it's sweet, sweet karma for the Tom Wilson bullshit before the playoffs started. But he scored the first goal of the playoffs, first of all. Because I believe the Caps and Bruins game was the first one. And if it wasn't, he scored the first goal of the playoffs for the Caps.
Yeah, right.
Which is just annoying in and of itself. But I don't know, man. Like, Boston is good.
Obviously.
But the Caps finished second in the division.
Right.
Boston was third. So they were ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the scoring just dried up. And I mean, Tuukka was good. Granted, I didn't watch as many games of theirs as I did the other series because the NHL can't schedule things properly.
Never.
So you have to pick one or the other. But I just don't know.
Not everybody has 3 screens to watch on, okay?
For real. And I know that, like, all season long, Caps fans on Twitter were just, like, hating their team.
Were they?
Yeah. Which was confusing to people from the outside, like myself, because I'm like, you're winning.
Right. Like, what's the problem here?
But I guess they had a point.
I guess. If that's how it ends up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Chara comes back next year, and if he does, where he plays.
Right.
If it's with Washington or somewhere else. Because he's, like, 42?
He's getting up
or
there.
43?
He's up there, all right. Because he's 6'9".
Real tall. He's 44. I was wrong.
44, and he's still in the NHL?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
How long was Jagr? How old was
How long
was his life when he left the NHL?
He was in his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was 44. I think he was younger than that, but I don't know. I feel like Chara could pull a Gordie Howe and just play till he's like 50.
Yeah.
Not that he would be as effective, but he's still Chara.
He's still there.
All you have to do is basically just stick him out there and he'll be able to reach people from just standing in one spot.
Stand in the middle of the ice.
Yeah. Obviously didn't go very well in the playoffs for that, but Oh.
Unrelated to hockey.
Okay, here we go.
I also found out that I'm probably allergic to the sun. Because every time I'm in the sun for like more than a few minutes, I get very itchy and start breaking out in like spots. And
interesting.
It's really uncomfortable. I don't prefer being itchy. I don't like it at all. But like even driving earlier today, like I had my arm out the window and my elbow just started itching so bad. And it was in the sun and this one was fine. And it's very frustrating and I don't know what I can possibly do. Strange. Because even if I have SPF on, it's still the same. I wore SPF 100 the whole time I was in Florida and I still got burnt to a crisp. How does that work? SPF 100! 100 SPF. 100. A whole 3 digits.
Is against you.
A whole 3 digits of SPF. And
I would go see a dermatologist if I was you.
I'm tired of doctors.
Although I don't know if they would be the ones to ask her, like an allergy doctor, but I feel like you would go to a skin doctor first.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, actually.
Why is my skin itchy?
Maybe ask your primary doctor first.
Yeah,
and
I can do that.
She could point you in the right direction, because I'm not a doctor.
No, neither of us are.
I can be a Google doctor sometimes.
Oh, those are bad. Those are real bad.
Good at Googling symptoms.
Yeah, bad time.
But everything leads to death.
It sure does. Cancer, death, tumors.
I had a pain in my side once.
Was your kidney failing?
I don't recall. I don't think it was my kidney, but it said that I was definitely going to die soon. But I was in college when this happened.
Oh, okay.
And it's been a few solid years since then, so I think I'm okay. The pain hasn't come back.
Well, hey, you're all right.
Oh, good old WebMD.
Anyway, back to
hockey. Vegas and Minnesota. Went to Game 7 after Vegas had a 3-1 lead in the series.
I don't know if I watched more than one of those games, honestly.
I watched Game 1.
Okay.
Which Fleury was absolutely insane and
bonkers.
And the one goal that beat him was in overtime, and it went off of his defender's leg and bounced through him. That's just so demoralizing.
That's terrible.
Like, kudos for him to having a great series after that.
Oh, for sure, because that could have knocked a lot of goalies down.
It really could have. But then they went on to win 3 straight, and then Minnesota came back and forced a Game 7. And I am just so glad that Vegas beat Minnesota.
Yes.
Not just because I hate Minnesota.
I mean, there's that.
But they are so boring to watch.
Yeah.
It's mind-numbing. Like, they have Kirill Kaprizov now.
Okay.
He's like rookie sensation.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there beating the world, setting it on fire, doing all these amazing things.
Yes.
So you would think that the Wild would be more fun to watch.
You would think.
No. They are not. They are still boring as sin. And Vegas did a pretty good job of shutting Kaprizov down. So I'm guessing that's why they ended up winning this series. But also, the biggest playoff performer for the Wild was Ryan Hartman.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He was like their best player every game.
Okay, Heartbay.
Right? Like, we liked you a lot as an Ice Hog and as a Blackhawk.
Mm-hmm.
And both of us were upset when he got traded.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see playoff mastermind
No.
Ryan Hartman.
No, not at all. But hey, shit, good for him.
Let me look up the points for the Wild to see who had the most points in the playoffs. It might not have been him, but he was like their most impactful player.
Interesting.
It was so weird.
He was just everywhere.
Like, I'm happy for the guy.
Oh, for sure.
It was Joel Eriksson Ek. Let's see. Where Hartman had 2 goals.
Okay.
So he had 2 points, and their top scorer had 3 points. But he was, like, in every single game, just causing a ruckus in front of Fleury.
I do love a player that causes a ruckus.
Me too. The Blackhawks need more ruckus players.
More ruckuses. Bring the ruckuses.
Bring the ruckuses. And Fleury was just, he really had Hartman's number. Like,
yeah.
he had so many scoring chances, and Fleury was like, nope.
Nah.
Nope.
Nah.
Nope.
Mm-mm. Not today, homie.
Yeah. And Game 7, I was playing NHL before the game came on.
Okay.
And I was finishing up a game as the first period started.
Okay.
And Vegas had already gone up 1-0 by the time I was able to turn off the game and turn on their game.
Okay.
And then Minnesota tied it. So then it went to the intermission, tied. And I turned on my game once again, played another game. Second period started before my game finished, and Vegas scored again.
Oh my God.
Like, well, shit, I can't fucking watch the game.
Right.
So I didn't even want to play, but I played the whole game until, like, the last 5 minutes when Vegas was seemingly going to win.
Right.
So then I turned it on to watch the end and the handshake line and all that. And I was like, really? I don't want to be playing, but I have to because it's working.
Uh-huh.
So frustrating.
You did the thing, though.
I'm
you did
superstitious even when it's not my team.
Yeah, you are.
It's so frustrating. Why is my brain like this?
I don't know. You put importance on things that are happening.
Why?
I mean, I also do that.
Why do we do this?
I do it about like a game. If I turn it on and the team that I don't want to win scores a goal, I'm like, shit, and I have to turn it off because it was my fault that they scored that goal.
Exactly. Why do we do this? Why is this a thing?
I don't know. It's really dumb because logically I know anything I do has no effect whatsoever upon the outcome of the game. But in my head, I'm like, I can never turn this TV on again.
I know. Like, I bring it up all the time, but Bud Light got it right with that commercial. It's only weird if it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Like, you nailed it with that. Catering to sports fans and their weird-ass superstitions.
Yes.
It's the best commercial. I don't know why they don't bring it back.
They should.
It's been a few years,
They
I feel,
should.
since they did that.
It's only weird if it doesn't work.
It's so true.
It's so true.
It's so true, but it's so frustrating.
Yes, it is.
Like, can I just watch a game in peace?
But this is like goalie rituals.
True.
Or like some other players have weird ass things that they do before games.
But goalies are just weird.
Goalies are a different breed and they have my heart.
They're
so weird and I love
but
it.
They actually impact the game.
Yes.
So I understand that.
That is different.
Us watching at home
nothing
shouldn't
impact
the game, but it does.
But it does because it's my fault when they can't score a goal while I'm watching.
I just what is the psychology behind that?
I don't
need to know. I'm sure there's been things written about it, and I need to look it up. But
behind the superstition of
it's so
sports fans,
frustrating. I just want to be in peace.
Yeah,
but there's no peace as a sports fan.
No peace whatsoever.
It doesn't matter who your team is. There's no peace. You can have the best team on the planet. There's no peace.
No peace.
Just like the Blackhawks in 2013. They go on that fucking amazing run, like 23-0-2, whatnot. Get to the playoffs. They go down 3-1 against the Detroit Red Wings.
But
they won. They won.
It's
because...
I was going to say.
I tweeted, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose before each of those winning games.
Now.
And it's tattooed on us now for a different reason, but...
Different reason, yeah, but
still I did that
quote
before
has power.
each of those winning games that they won to close out the series.
You did it.
I did.
You did it. Good job.
Thank you.
You are the reason they won that cup.
I know. I should have been the Conn Smythe winner.
You should have.
They should have given me a ring.
A ring.
It was so hard to tweet that out before each game. I worked so hard.
To hit that many letters.
That's tough. And that was back in the day of the even less character limit.
Yeah,
before it was 240.
Yeah, it's 140 now. Or no, that's it. I mean, it was 140. Now it's 280,
280,
isn't it?
my bad. Yeah.
I think they doubled it.
Numbers.
Except for like people with a verification check. I think they get more letters.
They have more?
I think so.
Really?
I could be wrong, but I feel like I read that somewhere.
I contemplated applying for verification because I have the little thing on my account. Like, I can apply.
Like your account or the From Center Ice?
Yeah, my account.
Yours.
I looked at both, and it's on mine.
It's on yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably just because the account's older.
Yeah.
So I thought about it. And
How
you
do
have
you
to
even
go
check for that?
You go to settings, and it's just...
Why is my brightness so high?
And, like, you have to provide all these things. So I provided links and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you either have to have, like, a official email address. So, like, for whatever organization you work for.
Right.
There's some other things. Or you can send a picture of your ID.
Huh.
And, like, I got all the way through it. And I was like, okay, I guess I will upload a photo of my ID just to see if this goes through. And so I took the pictures and whatnot. And then it just, like, failed out and didn't do anything. I kept trying to hit the next button, and nothing worked.
Alrighty.
So, like, well, that's my attempt for the night, I guess. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I will have even less peace if I become a verified account.
Yes, you will.
So maybe I should just wait until it's available on the From Center Ice account. But I just wanted to see if it was there, like if I could get it or not. It was one of those things. But then I don't know what I would do if I did get it. I'd be like, well, all right.
You've got over 300 followers.
Do I?
You do. 332.
Wow.
What am I at? I don't even know. 299.
Hey, beat ya.
Yeah, you did. Well, you're also very, very active on there.
Yeah.
When it comes to hockey, anyway.
I am.
You are. And it's great. And that's why people follow you. They follow you. That's why people follow you.
You know, these people be following me. And I don't know why.
I don't know why.
They just be following.
They just be following. Oh, dear.
Yeah. In the first round, I was way more active.
Yeah.
In tweeting about all of the games I was watching. And then Toronto happened.
Yes.
And I stopped being as active, but we're not to that series
No, we
yet.
haven't gotten there
That
yet.
one's last because we have thoughts about that one.
So many thoughts.
Carolina and Nashville.
Fuck Nashville.
But
That's what I got to say.
Look,
Look.
they only went to 6 games. I thought it went to 7. It did not. 6 games. They were very close to pushing the 7th. Mm-hmm. Nashville gave them a run for their money. I thought it was going to be a lot less close than it was. It was like the opposite of Boston and Washington.
Yeah, I feel like I watched a few games, but I can't find them in my brain.
I stopped watching them because when I didn't watch, the Hurricanes were winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
The game 6 where they finally won, I had it on the TV, but I had it muted while I was editing a video.
Okay.
So it was on, but I wasn't watching it. The universe deals in technicalities. That's why you have to be very specific if you ask the universe for something.
It's fair. Totally fair.
Because if you are not specific,
be careful what you wish for.
It will choose the worst possible outcome.
We know these things.
Every time.
We know these things.
Yes. But I'm just so glad they beat Nashville.
Who was in net? Becca?
No, UC Saros.
Saros, right. I knew that.
Because he went on that incredible run at the end of the season.
Yes, he did. I remember that now.
That kind of scared me going into the playoffs for the Canes since Saros just seemed unbeatable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they did it.
But Nedeljkovic out-goalie-dueled him, I suppose.
Him.
And good on him, the rookie goaltender. I love to see it.
He deserves a pat on the back.
Yes, except he's no longer playing, and Peter Mrazek is back in net, and that didn't go well for them today at all against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
No, it didn't.
And now they're down. But
But
we're not talking about the second round
no,
yet.
we're not. We got to get through the first round first.
Man, there was so much drama in the first round.
Oh, so much. So much. Heck. Heck.
The Florida series. Game 1. Best hockey game I've watched in a very long time.
I can't find it in my brain. I'm pretty sure I watched it.
It was so intense. They came out in that first period like, we're going to put on a show because the two Florida teams finally facing off against each other. And it was just end-to-end action, hits flying all over the place, and not dirty ones, mostly. And it just didn't stop the whole game.
I feel like I need to rewatch this game because I promise you I watched it, but there's like caution tape in my brain that like won't let me access it.
You cannot access this at the moment. There has been
I have
too
not
much
unlocked this
information since. It's like available, but it's locked.
It's locked.
But Tampa won in 6.
Tampa won. I mean, who did you want to win?
Florida.
The
Panthers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted the Panthers to win. What about you?
I don't remember what I put in my bracket. I think
who did you want to win? We don't always pick who we want.
No, I wanted Florida to win.
Okay.
I did. But that didn't happen.
I figured Tampa was going to win just
because they're Tampa.
Yeah, to really dig that knife in.
Yeah.
But Florida did finish above them in the standings in the division.
Yeah, Florida came back and
they just came on stomping back.
They sure did.
With rotating goaltenders.
Who do they have? They have Bob,
Drieger, and Spencer Knight.
Right. Yeah. We just talked about this.
We did, yeah. They played Bob in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
They played Bob in game 2, I want to say. And then they lost that one. And then they went to Drieger. He didn't play that well either. And then they kept alternating. And then they put Spencer Knight in for game 5 when they were down 3-1.
Yeah.
And he allowed a goal on the first shot he faced. And then stopped the rest of them to win and push it to game 6. So they put him back in for game 6. And
we know how
Tampa won. But, talk about pressure on a rookie goaltender.
Real.
But he also won gold for the U.S. in the World Junior this year.
Oh, yeah?
This year.
Okay.
He went from World
Mr.
Junior,
Spencer,
winning gold for the U.S., played in college, and played in a Stanley Cup playoff game.
Holy shit. He's had a busy year.
All in 2021.
He has had a busy calendar year.
Yeah. I think he's the first goaltender to play in college and in a playoff game. Or maybe it was the first to win in a playoff game.
Right.
I don't know. One of those two. But
yeah. Good on him.
Yeah. But what are they going to do this summer? This is just... I know we already talked about this on the other podcast.
Yeah,
but not everybody will listen to that. Even though you should. It's a very good episode.
It's a very good
episode. But, so they have Bob for a lifetime at $10 million a year. It was a 7-year deal when they signed it.
Okay.
A few weeks after drafting Spencer Knight, 13th overall, 11th overall, one of those two. It was the low teens in the draft the year we got Curbs, I want to say. Or the year after. Doesn't matter. One of those years. So then they signed Bob. But they also have Chris Drieger, who is a free agent this summer.
Yes.
But the better goaltender out of him and Bob. And it's not like you're going to send Spencer Knight to the AHL because he's clearly ready for the NHL.
Yes.
So do you run with a starting goaltender who is a rookie on his ELC and have a $10 million backup goaltender?
Oh, Bob. Bob, why?
Ugh. Bob played better this year than he did last year for the Panthers. which thank goodness, because I don't think it could get any worse than it did last year.
It can always get worse.
But he's still not as good as Drieger or Spencer Knight,
right.
who is a rookie, who played in college this year.
That's like when Colin went from the ECHL to the AHL to the NHL all in one season.
But like
Colin.
Yes.
Hello, Colin. Oh, you can only see his chin. That's fine.
And his mouth. But he's there behind us.
Yes.
If you're watching on the video.
It is.
If you are not watching on the video and would like to, this is on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/c/FromCenterIce.
From Center Ice.
I was so pleased just typing that in.
Yes, dude. Yes, finally. We aren't like youtube.com/ slash
like that. Keyboard smash.
Right, yeah.
It was like our sub count was stuck at 99 for like an hour or two. I was like,
fun fact.
Somebody just do it.
Fun fact. Eddie was driving at that time. I might have subbed on his account to get us to 100.
That's awesome.
Yes, so Eddie was our 100th follow.
Fantastic. But I still couldn't change it even as soon as we hit 100. Like, I had to wait for YouTube to recognize it and send me an email, which was like the next day. Like,
the next
hit 100 subscribers.
Oh, like, no.
Thanks, I knew that.
I'm fully aware. I've been watching the
I've
count.
Been staring at it because I want a custom URL. Thank you very much. But it happened. That's
yes,
it did. And now we're over 500 because Canada.
Don't come to play.
Yeah. But yeah, the Florida series. What do you do about the goaltending if you're Florida?
I don't know.
What would you do?
I mean, what can you do with Bob? Nothing.
Nobody's going to take that contract.
Nobody. No.
The buyout is just
ridiculous.
You can't.
Maybe somebody would take Bob if Florida retained. Maybe. Somebody would have to be really desperate.
But then, like, you'd have to think that they'd have to retain half, right?
Right, yes, at least.
So you either have a $10 million backup goaltender or $5 million on your cap for nothing. For somebody who doesn't even play for you.
Yes.
And the Panthers not being like one of the bigger market teams, I don't know that their owners would go for that.
Nah, probably not, because they're one of the smallest hockey communities, aren't they?
I hope that changes after this year and after that playoff round, because like BB&T was rocking.
Yeah, I liked
which was
that
awesome
arena.
to see. Yeah, it was fun. I don't know why people don't.
I don't know
go.
why it gets so much hate. Like there's really nothing.
And Miami's right there.
Sure is. It's just down the road.
I don't know if people just don't think about it.
I have no idea. I'll never understand why
if you're
Sunrise doesn't have more fans.
Right. If you're a hockey fan in a cold climate, why not? Like, Tampa tickets are going to be more expensive, first of all. So why not just go a little further south to Sunrise, get some cheaper tickets, but also an awesome game day experience?
Yeah, it was great. I don't understand.
Like, they have the whole outdoor thing beforehand. You can, they had games for kids, I think.
Games for kids. They had food. They had drinks.
Music. And it's hockey in Florida. It was mind-blowing
nice outside. It was January when we went.
And we were wearing t-shirts.
It was fucking 80 degrees out there.
We couldn't put on our jerseys yet. It was too hot. So,
it gets... It doesn't get enough attention. It gets way too much hate for what it is. I'll never really understand why people don't go.
Bought in so much to the quote-unquote meme of people not going to Sunrise,
so it actually affected it. Yeah,
like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That would suck if that was the case, but I can picture it happening.
And Tampa, I mean, not
when
Tampa.
You jump on the bandwagon of not liking something, and then it just spreads.
Right, and Florida wasn't the best team for a bit, but like go to see your team if you're an out-of-town fan, because there was a good chance back in those days that your team would win,
right?
And you would have a great game day experience, and it's warm. So I don't know either. I will always advocate for going to a Panthers game. It's just fun. It's a good time.
Okay, quick question.
Sure. Maybe
an answer. A couple of years back, Tampa got voted as the best fan experience.
Really?
Yes. What would you consider? out of all the places that we've been,
all the places we've
best
been,
fan experience. Do you need me to read off everywhere we've been?
I don't think so, because I think the ones I wouldn't remember, I wouldn't even consider, you know?
Fair.
It's hard to not have a bias towards Chicago, but I don't think it's Chicago.
Yeah.
It's gotten better since they added the atrium and all of that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But Columbus is fun.
Of course.
They have a Tim Hortons attached to their arena.
They do.
Also a bias.
Definitely.
They did get rid of their poutine though.
They
so
did.
That knocks it down.
That's a unfortunate.
They had good poutine too.
It was very good. It's very good.
So rude that they would get rid of that.
It's hard to find poutine, and they got rid of it. How rude! How rude!
Yeah, because we're not in Canada, so it's not easy for us to find it.
I mean, Columbus isn't in Canada either, but for some reason they had it.
They're like Canada Light because they
got Tim Hortons and poutine. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. It's also in Michigan but not here. Not St. Louis.
No, God no.
I feel like if you're an out-of-town fan in St. Louis, it's just kind of boring. Like, there's not much to do.
No, not at all.
Not at the arena. In the city, sure. Mm-hmm. Not at the arena. Nashville has a nice arena. I'll give them that.
We were there for such a short period. We literally got there, like, when the game was starting.
Yeah.
And then we left and had a 4-hour drive back to St. Louis.
Yeah, so... like, I really don't want to go back to Nashville to a game.
But I don't feel like we got the full experience.
Exactly.
And I don't want to experience that again, but I want to experience what I haven't experienced, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe we could just go hang out around the arena.
But then we would be upset we weren't at the game. I know we would be.
We would.
And then we would hate ourselves if we were, but we would hate ourselves even more if we weren't.
Yes.
So we will probably end up going back to a game in Nashville and staying there longer. And we could stay in a hotel down there. That would be a lot more fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I can't really rule out Nashville, but I also can't give it to them because we didn't fully experience it. Mm-hmm. And being an out-of-town fan kind of sucks being at the game there because your chants are so fucking long.
So long. How do you just go
We don't know what you're saying. Like, you know what you're saying.
Of course you do.
But it's so long.
You're
and
just
everybody
going on
is
for sentences and sentences and sentences. It's like, bro.
And the Tim McGraw, like, beauty
that
shots.
Awkward, like...
It's rough. It's rough.
Like a glamour shot of Tim McGraw sitting on a stool after they win. After they score a goal.
I feel like everything surrounding the game in Nashville probably would take the cake. Like,
yeah, definitely.
The surrounding area.
Because it's in like the music district.
Yeah, and the complete madness that is the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And they have a good arena. But I can't give it to them because we didn't experience
it. The full experience, yeah.
I would rate the Panthers over the Lightning.
Okay.
I didn't like Tampa's store.
No. Were they the one that didn't have like an actual store?
No, they did.
Who was it that didn't have an actual
Minnesota.
store? Minnesota.
And the Joe, for whatever.
And
I mean, it was small.
Did Pittsburgh?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They did.
So I just remember somewhere
some of them all just kind of run together. Maybe the Islanders didn't.
Maybe. I think you're right.
I don't think they did.
No. They just had little kiosks like around the concourse.
Because I feel like
where's the
store?
Where's the store? And everybody's like, right there. Mm-hmm. And they pointed to a kiosk.
Even Minnesota's were more of a store because they had like cutout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the Islanders that didn't. The Isle is probably good for Islanders fans.
For Islanders fans, yes.
Which is great. I mean, you want to cater
awesome.
to your home fans,
of course.
right? So saying that isn't necessarily putting them down, but this is coming from an out-of-towners experience.
Yes. We also went to that game on literally zero sleep, though.
Yes.
We drove overnight, and we got to the game like half an hour before it started.
Yeah. Yeah, the gates were already open for parking by the time we got there, and we hadn't stopped from Rockford to there except for gas and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, not them. Not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was kind of meh. Mm-hmm. Their parking was right across the street, though. I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot. You give me good parking, you rank higher than other places.
Absolutely.
Denver. They had a nice store.
Yeah.
Parking was right outside the arena. But otherwise,
it just wasn't much to do.
Yeah, they did have some cool food options. Some different things.
I don't recall.
They had like mini donuts, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Those were good.
Where was it that I got the cookie dough?
Minnesota. And then
That
left
was
it in the hotel room.
I spent so much energy preserving this little cup of cookie dough because I wanted to keep it and eat it later. And I put it in the fridge at the hotel. And like 2 hours down the road on the way back home, I was like, my cookie dough is still... It's still in the fridge at the hotel.
Just chilling in the Red Roof Inn refrigerator.
So I lost my cookie dough.
Since we always stay at a Red Roof Inn.
We sure do. # sponsored.
One day we will have enough money to not stay at a Red Roof Inn
everywhere
we go. But hey,
today's not that day.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's never been bad for us.
No, I like Red Roof Inn.
It's just
for the most part
cheaper option.
Yeah,
you know. I feel like it gets more hate because it's a cheaper option, but it's always
What's
been
wrong
clean.
with cheap? Yeah.
If it's clean and I can sleep there,
that's all I care about.
We're good.
I don't need to pay $300 a night for a
It didn't smell like stale cigarettes like that place we went for Bloodfest.
Oh, God, the place for Bloodfest.
What's the town?
Howell?
Yes, Howell, Michigan.
Howell, Michigan.
Thank you. I was like, I know it starts with an H, but I can't think of what it is.
Howell.
That was rough. So we stayed further outside of there when we went to the second one and stayed at a Red Roof.
Yeah, we did, because that first one was like, what was it, $60 for a night?
Mm-hmm.
And
you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
It was smelly.
It was very smelly.
Shit, man. I'm not going to say Chicago. It's too much of a bias, and it's not true.
It's not true.
It's gotten better, like I said.
Yes, definitely.
Like, once you're in the game...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't say Chicago.
Even other places beat the in-game experience. It's just because I'm a Blackhawks fan.
Absolutely.
That's why it's at the top of my list.
Chicago, Columbus, Detroit, Minnesota, St. Louis, Nashville, Florida, Tampa, Colorado, Pittsburgh, Islanders.
Detroit would have more of a shot if they still played at the Joe.
The Joe was terrible, though.
But it was so cool inside.
It was very cool because it was
and
historic and everything.
Yeah.
The history and everything was awesome. But I had to pee in the middle of the game, and the concourse was so fucking small that...
It's just, like, packed
It
was
packed. You couldn't even walk. And so I was just like, I really gotta pee.
Yeah. Little Caesars is pretty nice. And they have that nice little food court area.
Of course.
But $50 fucking for parking.
Yeah, fuck that.
You get crossed right off the list for that. I'm gonna have to say either Columbus or Florida.
Okay.
Which probably throws everybody into a what the fuck? You're gonna say Columbus or the Florida Panthers have the best game day experience?
I mean...
But I feel like that's where I've had the most fun outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Columbus and Sunrise.
Yes. So there's that.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
No, and don't hate something just because other people don't like it.
Yeah, man. Like, Tampa was cool.
Yeah.
They also had a little outdoor thing. You could get drinks and stuff.
Yeah,
and
they had chairs and...
They have the lightning coils inside. Like, cool, but... I prefer going to a Panthers game. They had better in-game entertainment, I want to say. Their in-game hosts or whatever you want to call them.
They were fun.
They're engaging and fun, and same in Columbus. I don't know. It's more fun. I feel like I went with like the picks that you would choose just to be different. But they're actually like
they're
how
like
I feel.
Legitimately, yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh boy. Columbus is definitely top 2, if not number 1.
I mean, since we make a yearly trip to Columbus and nowhere
it
else.
Says a lot. Yeah, I mean, I wish we were able to spend more time in Pittsburgh and Nashville.
I would be more willing to go back to Nashville than Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just didn't impress me. I don't know.
That's fair. I just felt like we didn't get a whole lot of time there because
we also didn't because we left from New Jersey.
Yes,
to go immediately there.
Yeah.
We
do
we're on
these trips.
We don't give ourselves much time.
No, it is. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. No sleep in between.
It is very
only
regimented.
driving.
Mm-hmm.
It's. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves.
A lot of planning goes into it
So
to make
much
sure
planning.
it's well executed, and we've never been late.
No, we've never missed a puck drop, which is crazy.
The only time we've ever missed a puck drop is in Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah. And that's mostly just because I couldn't get off work in time.
And the fucking traffic.
Also that.
It's just stand still once you get onto 290. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go with Columbus.
Yeah?
Nowhere has impressed me as much as Columbus has.
Yeah.
It's just,
I like it.
there's so much engagement. There's
It's
so
fun.
many things to do. There's great places to eat.
Mm-hmm.
There's Timmy's.
The store is open
The store
beforehand.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so great.
Any
Why don't
place that
places
will do that will fly up my list.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to miss warm-ups. I don't
No.
want to miss your anthem or whatever. I don't want to miss puck drops. So if I can go to the store before doors open.
And buy what I need to buy, which is like, for me, it's a hat,
a mini stick.
a mini stick, like a goalie stick,
Mm-hmm.
and no, you just get the puck.
Get the puck in a shot glass and
Shot glass.
usually a hat.
Yeah, I have to get a hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Yeah, Columbus, doing well. You're doing well.
Good job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
so
they
about
weren't in the
Winnipeg
playoffs. Winnipeg and the Oilers.
and the Oilers.
Oh.
Connor McDavid.
I feel like I
and-
have the most thoughts about the Canadian series.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
They've been the most bang, bang, boom.
Sure.
That's what I'm going with.
That's what you're going to go with?
I'm going to go with that.
So the Winnipeg Jets swept
Oh,
the Edmonton Oilers.
the absolute two-headed monster that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are could not win a single playoff game against the Winnipeg Jets.
They really shut those two down. And games 3 and 4 were back-to-back. Both of them went to overtime. Because the Jets were down. They had to claw their way back. And they did that to beat Edmonton. And swept them. And I feel bad for Oilers fans, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
And I started...
So much pain.
It didn't feel good, but I started to feel bad for McDavid and Draisaitl when they got swept.
Oh, that's hard.
And that doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
But I did, because the season they had, it was otherworldly.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
I want to say, so McDavid was obviously first in points in the league.
Yes.
Draisaitl was second. And he was nearly 20 points ahead of the third person.
20 points. 20 points.
20 points. I could give you the exact point totals.
Oh, dear.
I believe. If I can look this up well. Not playoffs. Regular season. Get stats. Points. Connor McDavid, 105.
That
in a
is-
shortened season.
Yes, a condensed season.
That's incredible in an 82-game season.
Oh, my God. Over 100 points.
105. Leon Draisaitl, 84.
The
He had
jump.
21
That
points less
jump.
than McDavid.
Holy hell and a half.
And then Brad Marchand had 69.
Oh,
be
nice. But,
Mm-hmm.
fucking Brad.
So that would be, it's 5 less than 20. 15?
That's
It's
5 less than 20, yes.
15 points ahead of the third place scorer. Do you want to know how cursed the Toronto Maple Leafs are?
Give it to me.
Mitch Marner was 4th in scoring in the league this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Do you know how many points he had?
No, I don't.
67! 67!
67.
Because they haven't won since 1967!
Oh, the curse. Oh, no.
And their leading point getter had 67 points!
Oh, that makes me so sad.
And then he disappeared in the playoffs. We're
He
not to that
didn't.
series yet. Why? We're not there yet.
Nope,
We're not there yet.
We will get there.
At
we
the
will
Oilers.
get there.
So they were that much more amazing than everybody else in this league.
Jesus Christ.
Their GM, Ken Holland, at the trade deadline, did fuck all.
Yeah.
And he said, you cannot go all in every year. This season, when your two superstars are that much better than the entire league, how do you not try? How do you not try to surround them with a supporting cast instead of being like, they're just a lot better than everybody else on the team, so I think that they will be able to take us to a series win.
Give this something to work with.
Even though time and time again in the playoffs, it is not the superstars that do all the scoring because you need depth scoring.
Yes.
Because the defenders on the opposing team will focus in on your top guys, and once they shut down McDavid and Draisaitl, they swept them.
Yep.
They swept them. And this Edmonton Oilers team was in the bubble last year.
Yes.
They played the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yes.
And lost to the Blackhawks, who should not have been in the playoffs.
No.
They were only there because they expanded
they
the
had
playoffs
the play-in round.
to have the play-in round. They were that bad to where they should not have been in the playoffs. And the Edmonton Oilers lost to them. They only won one game. With a goaltending tandem of Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen.
Mike Smith.
This Edmonton Oilers management group looked at this horrible loss to a team that should not have been there and should not have beat them, frankly.
No, not at all.
And said, we're going to bring back the same two goaltenders this season. The same two goaltenders that shit the bed in the bubble against the Chicago Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks.
The Chicago Blackhawks, whose playoff contributors in the bubble were Olli Mata and Matthew Highmore.
Is he gone now? He's gone now, right?
Yes.
Where'd he go?
Vancouver. We got Adam Gaudette at the trade deadline for Matthew Highmore.
Right. How do you feel about that one?
I'm fine with it. Especially if we keep Gaudette and he proves to be something, then whatever. But how?
I don't know.
They re-signed Mike Smith after the bubble. He was not on a contract through this year.
No.
They re-signed him. There's not much you can do about Koskinen because Chiarelli signed him to that deal and then fucked off immediately.
Like the next week.
How did
like 3 days later.
How did the owners approve that? They knew they were going to can the guy, and they say, let's just sign this horrible extension. But then to bring back Mike Smith, who had a pretty good regular season, actually. He had a very good regular season. How? And then you get swept in the playoffs because at the trade deadline, when you have these two superstars just lighting it up, lighting up the whole league, everybody was watching Connor McDavid to see if he could get that 100 points.
Yes.
You say, you can't go in every year.
You know how mad I would be if I were Connor McDavid? Like he's already stuck there. Stuck. Like, he's not moving anywhere.
He signed that big contract.
He
didn't have to.
He agreed to that, though.
But you have to assume, if you're McDavid, that you signed that deal.
Fucking McJesus.
They're going to help you win.
Right, you would think.
I don't know why you would think that with how this franchise has been run since Gretzky was playing there, but, like...
I don't know what I would do if I were McDavid. Okay, so like when they game 4, yes, the final game of the series,
double overtime loss to the Winnipeg Jets.
When that goal went in,
it was a bad
the winner.
It was a bad one.
Connor McDavid looked down and shook his head.
Mm-hmm.
And people on Twitter were crucifying him for it.
Can you blame the guy?
What the fuck else do you want from him? He's doing everything he possibly can.
Yeah.
And still, there's nothing because he has no one to help him besides Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And
he had one goal all series, but if you watch that back, the way the refs were officiating those games.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was. It might have been Dom Lucian. I can say his
What
name
was that?
every time when we're not recording. Except for when we're recording. I can't say it. I don't know if it was Dom or somebody else, but they went back. Dom Lucian.
Lucian?
Yes.
Like incision, but Lucian?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like a keyboard smash.
Oh, no.
For his name. Somebody went back and watched every shift to see how many infractions should have been called on Winnipeg against McDavid. And the number was astounding.
I can imagine.
And even in that double overtime game, like, guys were just hanging on him.
Uh-huh.
And the only thing they called was a delay of game because the puck went over the boards, and you have to call that.
Ugh.
That was it. That's all they called in that double overtime. These guys were hanging all over each other.
Oh, no.
It was the worst hockey I've ever watched in my life.
Real? That's saying something. Are you sure?
Yes. Because the night before, this was the second half of a back-to-back. They had also gone to overtime.
I don't think there should be back-to-backs in the playoffs.
There shouldn't be, but there was in the Canadian division because they just couldn't start the playoffs until Vancouver and Calgary were done playing their regular season games.
Why the fuck did they start the playoffs before the regular season was over?
I don't know. Why couldn't the North Division just have started before Calgary and Vancouver were done?
I don't get it.
It made no impact on the playoffs because both teams were out. They weren't getting back in.
So
You can start the rest of the playoffs, but just because they're in Canada, they can't.
That makes no sense.
Ugh. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But, like, yeah, you're mad at your team for not helping you out. You're mad if you're McDavid about the officiating because it was trash. I mean, it's been trash all playoffs for everybody.
Every year.
It seems like it's not worth talking about anymore, but especially in that double overtime, it was atrocious.
I just don't know. What do you do? I don't know why people were upset with him for doing this. They're like, he's the captain. He needs to be more positive about this team, and he needs to.
He went out and got to 105 points in the regular season.
What else do you want from him?
There's not much more he can do. No. He's tried his damnedest to put this team on his back and carry them to some sort of success, and their GM's just like, well, fuck you. Like,
how do you not go all in a condensed fucking season where he gets over 100 points?
Not even try to bring in anybody. They didn't do anything.
That's upsetting to me, and I am obviously not an Oilers fan.
I was rooting for them to lose just because of the joke that is the Oilers organization.
Yes.
And
I don't like the Jets, but
it's funny because it's so horrible, and I want it to change so that, like, the best player in the world should be in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'd say so.
How do you do that as Ken Holland and keep your job? How is this guy not fired?
Who is his boss?
I don't know.
I just want to talk.
But then, that's not even the worst part somehow. The playoffs are over for Edmonton, right?
Yes.
They get swept.
Swept.
They get swept.
I hate it when they get swept.
I hate it when they get swept. After they brought back the same goaltending tandem, did fuck all to bring in a supporting cast for these two guys who do everything they possibly can. And then the playoffs are done. They're out. And Ken Holland says that he would like to re-sign Mike Smith.
For why?
Koskinen is still under contract, so you're going to bring back the same goaltending tandem that lost to the Blackhawks in the bubble and got swept by the Jets, who nobody had winning that series at all.
How insulting.
If you're an Oilers fan, how?
How are you still a fan?
Which is bold coming from somebody who roots for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But how? Because it's not even pain just on the ice, which is what Toronto is. Because Dubas did a very good job constructing this team this year. So it's not the front office. You can have your qualms about Sheldon Keefe if you want. But in Edmonton, you have Connor McDavid. As an Oilers fan, you're ecstatic. You have the best player in the world.
Hell yeah.
And then you got Leon Draisaitl too. But your pain isn't on the ice.
No.
Because your pain is your organization from the top down not doing anything to put this team in a spot to succeed.
No.
They lucked in to getting the first overall pick, and you can't mess up with you when you have Connor McDavid in that draft.
Oh, but they are.
I'm surprised they didn't take Jack Eichel, honestly, and be like, we're just going to skip on Connor McDavid.
Honestly, same.
And then you get Draisaitl at number 3. Like, you luck into these things, right?
Yes.
I mean, you still have to make the pick, and you have to do the right thing there. It's hard to miss on these two guys. You have nothing for goaltending. Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith, who lost to the Blackhawks. You brought them back. They get swept. And then you say you want to bring him back.
I mean, okay.
I don't care if he had a good regular season.
You have a bias against Mike Smith. But.
Okay.
But. The numbers back up your bias.
Yes. And I think Edmonton losing is hilarious because the organization is a joke.
Yes.
But at this point, I just feel bad for Oilers fans. I feel bad for McDavid.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't want them to sign Mike Smith because he sucks. I want them to get better goaltending. And it would make sense for them in the offseason to get Chris Drieger.
Yes. But but that organization is not going to happen.
This is the same organization that let go of Cam Talbot, who then was fantastic for Minnesota in the playoffs this year. Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen, and you want to bring them back after 2 years of failing. One, not even in the playoffs because it was in the play-in round. You laugh at Toronto for losing to Columbus in the playoff round. Sure. Because that's what the Leafs do.
They do.
But they made changes. They got better on paper.
On paper.
And on the ice in the regular season. Edmonton didn't get better on paper.
No.
And you have McDavid getting over 100 points.
What
in a
else do you want him to do?
This just blows my mind.
That's like a 2-point per game pace.
Yeah. How can you be this incompetent? People yell about Stan Bowman being a terrible GM.
Oh, God. They don't know how good we have it.
Exactly. We could have Peter Chiarelli followed up by Ken Holland.
Please,
not
God,
doing
no.
shit.
Please, God, no.
When you have the best player in the world.
That's all. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't think I ever will. I don't think they're going to change. I think they're going to continue to run McDavid into the ground until he doesn't fucking care anymore because he knows it's not going anywhere.
Why would you care after this year? It's clear that your management doesn't care.
Yes.
Why would you? Why would you care? Obviously, he wants to win hockey games. Yes. He wants to win the Stanley Cup. Of course. Why would you care about the Edmonton Oilers? You wouldn't.
No. Not even a little bit.
Because they haven't proven anything to you. Mm-mm. There's no appreciation.
Oh, God, no. None.
If that team appreciated you and all of your skill and effort And for being the best player in the world,
they
would try to surround you with a supporting cast to win.
They're just like, nah, here's Draisaitl. He's going to be fucking amazing too.
But after y'all?
But other than that...
I mean, they have some good pieces, but it's nothing that adds up to a winning team.
Right.
Like, give me Darnell Nurse on the Blackhawks any day. Give me Ethan Bear on the Blackhawks any day.
Yes.
But you need something else.
Uh-huh.
Need something else, and they just won't. I don't know if they thought that their acquisition was Jesse Puljujarvi coming back from Europe to play for them and doing fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
But he was already your player. You drafted him.
Yes.
That's not the same.
It's not the same thing.
Puljujarvi is not Kucherov. You can't just... It's not a trade deadline acquisition. For your team... I don't like feeling this frustrated about a team I don't like.
About a team that I hate.
But the incompetence pisses me off.
I understand. I really do.
So they got swept by the Winnipeg Jets. And that goal that Smith gave up was a stinker.
Oh, boy. I don't know if I watched.
Which, the goal itself made me happy because of my negative bias toward Mike Smith.
Of course.
But it's the loss and everything surrounding that and the incompetence that upsets me. Edmonton fans, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry.
But that brings us to
here we go.
Toronto
You guys thought that was bad.
and Montreal.
Where to begin?
Game 1, less than 10 minutes into game 1, when they lose their captain.
John Tavares. Tavares?
I hear it both ways all the time.
What's correct?
Just talk about starting off a series on the wrong foot.
Probably the scariest thing I've seen happen outside of like Malachuk.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, the scariest thing I have personally witnessed watching hockey.
Yes, live on
TV. Like, I still don't want to like go into details of all of the things that happened because everybody has seen it too many times. But talk about fucking traumatic.
So scary.
I just feel so bad for his family who had to see that and watch
over and over and over and over and throughout the whole freaking series. Mm-hmm. They were replaying this injury.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would you want to keep showing it?
And
what do you get out of that?
He's already back skating.
That's scary. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Like, give him some time.
Because he had the knee injury, too.
From when he was falling back?
I don't know. Just from that whole ordeal. He had a knee injury as well. But, man. And then he was at the game in Game 7. No. Game 5.
He was at Game 5?
Yes. He was at one of them. He might have been at both of the ones that were back in Toronto. I don't know. But he was there. Yeah.
If somebody has that traumatic of an injury and, like, not only a concussion, but also a knee injury, why would you rush him back at all?
I don't know. Maybe he felt like he was ready.
I mean, he felt like a lot of things on the ice down there, and he was not.
Yeah, so that was terrifying and just kicked off the series.
Yeah.
Montreal won that game, which, I mean, if I was playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would have been taken out of that game completely.
I was
even watching it, I couldn't pay attention.
Right. No, I was so mad that they didn't stop the game right there and postpone it for either the next day or whatever. Because how, as a team, do you sit there, watch your captain get major league injured, and then return to play like nothing happened?
I mean, that's a big reason why Foligno fought Corey Perry afterwards. Like,
well, of course,
that was back into the game,
right?
And, like, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah. But like, I don't see how that's any different from who was the guy on Was it St. Louis?
Bouwmeester, yeah.
Bouwmeester, yeah. When he had his heart thing on the bench and he passed out. Mm-hmm. I don't see a difference between this John Tavares injury and
Right, especially since it was in the first period and nobody
10
had scored
minutes into
yet.
the game. There was no score. 0-0. The only time they scored was like right after the injury. It wasn't that long.
Next shift.
Yeah. So like, how do you even expect these guys to be on top of their game? You can't. It's stupid to bitch about it now. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It would have made a lot more sense, and I feel like it could have impacted the outcome of the series.
At least that game.
At least that game.
That's why I don't think anybody was even mad at them that they lost that game.
No, absolutely
How could you be?
not.
Hockey
it wasn't
didn't
even
matter
about
at that point.
hockey. Yeah, mm-hmm. Like it was nothing at that point.
Mm-mm. So then they come back for game 2, and they win 3 straight games.
Yep.
3 in a row. To go up 3-1.
You never wanted to be 3-1.
3-1. Game 4, to make it 3-1, Jack Campbell had a 4-0 shutout. His first playoff shutout.
Snaps for him.
It was a great game. It was also the second half of a back-to-back.
Why?
Because NHL. They won both of those games. It was great. It was fantastic. Come back for game 5. They go down. That was 2-0. No. They were down by 2. Tied it back up. Sent it to overtime. Yay, Toronto sent it to overtime. They can close out the series if they just do it.
If they just do it.
59 seconds into overtime. Mr. Alex Galchenyuk decides to just send a no-look pass along his own blue line in the offensive zone.
Yep.
They had the puck. They had possession of the puck until they didn't because of this dumb pass that they were doing all fucking series. They weren't looking where they were passing the puck, and this time it cost them. Because you had Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki on a 2-on-0. 2-on-0 in the playoffs. How often do you see a 2-on-0 in the playoffs? What do you expect Jack Campbell to do?
Right.
And he almost got it.
He almost did. It was so close.
But he didn't. And 59 seconds into overtime, after they clawed their way back to tie it up and send it there, it was over.
I didn't get to see it live. I was watching the game. My internet kept going up and down. This was at the condo, timeshare, whatever. I don't know what you call it. We were watching it. It kept going down. I would always get it right back. Whatever. Went to overtime. I got to see the first 2 seconds of overtime, and then my internet dropped. And by the time I got it back up, they were celebrating the Canadiens' goal.
It saved you from having to watch that terrible turnover.
Oh, I still had to watch it. They replayed it quite a few times after that. But I did not get to see it live and feel that hurt, only a little bit afterwards.
Yeah. And it sucks that it was Galchenyuk because he had a really good game otherwise. Yeah. It was basically because of him that it got to overtime. So it's not like you can be really mad at the guy, but you can be mad at that dumb play.
Yes. Yes.
So, game 6. And I said in my video after game 5, I said, if they don't win game 6...
They're losing.
They're losing. And I could see them losing this series after they lost that game 5.
Yeah.
So they go to game 6. They're down by 3 goals. And they tie it up. I want to say that was the 3. Maybe that was a 2. Maybe I have these switched around. Once they were down by 2, once they were down by 3. Mm-hmm. I think 3 was in game 6. I could be wrong. They all run together at this point because it's all pain. Anyway, they claw back, tie it up, go to overtime. And not a minute end this time. But in overtime, Travis Dermott has the puck right inside his own blue line. Just
right there.
Right inside it.
Right there.
All he has to do is send the puck up the boards. And his guy right there. Mm-hmm. Right there. When they show the camera angle from just looking at Dermott and looking down the ice to where they would have ideally gone.
Right.
His guy was right there. And he was right inside the blue line. All he had to do was get it out, send it up the boards. But instead, he goes for this spinorama move, loses the puck, and they get it to Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and he just rifles it past Jack Campbell.
Yep.
And it goes off of Zach Bogosian.
Because of course it does.
That was on the anniversary of the Blackhawks beating the Red Wings in Game 7. And that goal looked identical.
The same.
Just
exactly
coming up the center of the ice, except this time it was Kotkaniemi and not Brent Seabrook. Goes off of the defender and past the goaltender. So they lose Game 6. And then there's a Game 7, which nobody who roots for the Toronto Maple Leafs ever wants to hear, because Game 7s don't go their way.
Ever.
Freaking
ever.
Ever. So they go into Game 7. And the first goal of the game comes from Brendan Gallagher. And it's a horrible goal. It just goes 5-hole on Jack Campbell from pretty far out, above the face-off. Above the face-off circle. Just 5-hole. Just right in. Boop. 1-0 Montreal. Okay, well, it's only one goal.
Not ideal.
This team can score
Still
goals.
Doable.
They've done it throughout the playoffs, even. Not the guys who should be doing it, but they've scored goals. They've scored plenty of goals on Carey Price. It's all right. Then they go to the power play. The Montreal Canadiens do. And I don't remember who took the shot. One of them took the shot. It just barely hits Corey Perry's leg. Just barely hits his leg. Redirects past Jack Campbell. And it's 2-0 Montreal. It's 2-0.
Poor guy.
And I'm dying inside because they're going to fucking do this again. All of us knew it. All of us knew they were going to lose it.
We knew it. Because it happens.
We knew
every single fucking time.
We felt it after Game 5 when they lost. We knew it it's after over. Game 6 when they lost. But you still have that thought in the back of your head.
What if they do it?
They can't possibly fuck this up again. They won their division. They were the best team in the North Division in the regular season. They have the better team on paper. Jack Campbell has better numbers than Carey Price in the series.
Yeah.
They can't fuck this up again.
Sure they can. And they did.
And they didn't even show up to Game 7.
No, they checked out.
They were in Toronto. They were at home. They allowed first responders into the building.
Oh, those
they
poor
finally
nurses
had fans. And they gave them all Maple Leafs jerseys.
Did they really?
They did.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
They gave them all jerseys. And they couldn't be fucked to show up. They looked horrible in Game 7. They couldn't pass. They couldn't shoot.
Where the fuck was Oston?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing him.
No.
Except for the one goal he scored.
Uh-huh.
And then the Habs get an empty netter.
And then it's over.
And then just to fuck with us all, William Nylander scores a goal.
Because of course he did.
And you're thinking, they're not going to tie this up. Because there's not much time left.
No.
They're not going to do it. There's one goal. How fun.
How fun.
Funsies. Just for funsies.
Just to show that we actually can.
But that thought in the back of your head, what if they tie this up
there.
again and send it to overtime again?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't.
They didn't. They didn't do that.
Couldn't be bothered to score more than one goal in Game 7 when they led the series 3-1.
Yeah.
And had zero excuses. You can't blame losing Tavares. They lost him in Game 1 and won 3 straight.
Sure did.
They lost Jake Muzzin in Game 6. They clawed their way back from a deficit, pushed it to overtime, still lost. And in Game 7, defense wasn't even the problem. No. The defense wasn't the problem all series. Jack Campbell was amazing.
Uh-huh.
The superstars couldn't be fucked to show up and play.
We need somebody to score the goals. You can't win the games without scoring the goals.
You can't have Jason Spezza being your best forward aside from William Nylander. Yeah. But, like, it's expected that he would play well, right? Because he's one of the higher paid guys. He's one of their better forwards. He should play well. And he did. He had a very good series.
Nylander, Spezza, and fucking Campbell were, like, the only ones that actually showed up.
Yeah, and then the defenders were pretty good. Morgan Riley had a great series.
Oh, he did. Yeah, you're right.
He was great. TJ Brody, fantastic.
Sure.
You'd never even noticed when he was out there because he was just doing his job.
Doing his job, exactly.
Jake Muzzin, he was great. Unfortunately got injured, but you can't blame it on that. Zach Bogosian, just doing his job. Rasmus Sandin, aside from the 2 turnovers that led to goals in Game 5. Yes, because then Dermott was in for Game 6. But aside from that, great series for the kid. Travis Dermott, he also had a pretty good series. He just had that 1 turnover, and unfortunately it was horrible. But, like, the defense was fine.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell was amazing. Mm-hmm. William Nylander, fantastic series. Jason Spezza, holy shit.
Yeah.
League minimum player. And who wants to be a Maple Leaf.
He does. He wants it.
More than anything.
That's all he wants.
Nick Foligno being an impactful player, and he's like half of a human out there because he's so injured.
Yeah.
And then you have $20+ million tied up in Mitchell Marner and Austin Matthews, and nothing.
Anything? No.
One goal.
Nothing.
One goal.
One goal. Between them.
One goal. The leading goal scorer in the league. And number 4 on the points list for the whole league in the regular season in Mitch Marner with 67.
Fucking poetry, man. It's just... It's poetry. It's written in the stars.
It's not unbelievable because it's the Leafs.
Because it's the Leafs,
but it's unbelievable because how? How do you fuck up this many times?
Oh, you know.
And the roster was so much better this year.
They built
Dubas
a team.
did a great job.
They built an amazing team.
And nothing.
Nothing.
Alex Kerfoot, he also had a really good series.
Yeah.
He was never supposed to be the second line center, but he had to be shoved there after losing Tavares.
Yep.
And he did a great job.
Sure.
Alex Galchenyuk, he also looked pretty great, aside from that 1 turnover that led to the 2-0.
You know.
But that's all fine and dandy if these guys are having good series. You need Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews to
do their jobs.
Do anything.
To just be there, you know, but they weren't.
To look somewhat effective?
No, they were just out there.
They were holding on to pucks too long.
They looked bored.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you look bored when you're losing?
Yeah. They looked like they were having a pretty good time through the first 4 games, even though Marner was still playing like trash. You had Austin being ragdolled and just laughing at guys. That was great.
It's always great to see that.
And then after Game 4, they just looked miserable.
Had no life whatsoever.
They weren't having fun.
They weren't smiling.
And they were up 3-1 in the series. All they had to do was win one game. They had 3 chances to close out this series.
1 game. Couldn't do it.
Any other time you tell that Toronto Maple Leafs team, you only have to win 1 game. You just have to win a hockey game.
Yeah.
And they do it. And they do it.
Of course.
Except when it matters.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Which is...
Because this team has not won a playoff series since 2004. We are almost at 20 years of them not winning a playoff series.
What was that Thrashers quote? Or Flashers stat? Not Flashers. Jesus Christ. Thrashers.
That they've had more success than the Leafs since 2004?
Yeah.
There have been some bad Maple Leafs teams in between 2004 and now.
Horrible.
Bad teams.
Real bad.
But the way this roster was constructed, they should have been able to win a playoff series against an injured Carey Price, half of a human in Shea Weber, who was also injured coming into the playoffs, a healthy scratch of Cole Caulfield, Thomas Tatar not playing well.
They just...
Tyler Toffoli wasn't even scoring until the last couple games.
Just had to win one game.
One out of three. 3 chances to close this out, and they couldn't win one. And it was self-inflicted wounds, and all 3 of them
beat themselves.
All 3 of them
beat themselves. No other that.
Some games you can watch, and the team you're rooting for doesn't win. But the other team just creates their own luck. They just, wow, that was a really nice play, unfortunately. Yep. And they just played better. The Habs were never the better team in this series. They sat back and waited for the Leafs to make a mistake, which they inevitably did because this is the Toronto fucking Maple Leafs. Yeah. And they capitalized on those mistakes. They weren't the better team, but they played the way they needed to play to beat the Maple Leafs. Yes. They had a game plan, and they executed it perfectly.
You can't go into it without a strategy. You have to fucking care.
Yeah.
You have to want it.
And it's from watching the Leafs in those last 3 games, you can't tell me they looked like they wanted it.
No, and it's devastating to see your star players out there just not giving a fuck.
Mm-hmm. And they just looked beyond frustrated.
Yeah.
When they were up 3-1 in the series, how are you this frustrated? You can't let one game get you off your whole game.
No.
Like credit to Carey Price too. He played really well. You can't say he didn't, but he was beatable.
Yes. Of course.
And they proved that.
Yeah.
They put up 5 on him. They put up 4 on him. They were scoring goals. And he was robbing them a few times a game, but he was beatable.
Yes.
So it's not like they really got goalied.
No, not
even
at
though
all.
Carey Price played fantastic.
Yeah. That's totally different, though.
There was just no passion to their game after that 4th game. Where they won 4-0.
As a Leafs fan, how do you watch that and feel anything but rage?
I think that you can't even feel rage at that point. I think that's why we saw the reactions that we did, where it was
just a breath out,
yeah. And if you're a player for the Leafs, if you're front office for the Leafs, that's exactly how you don't want to see your fans.
100%. Because that means they've given up on you.
Yeah. And we're still going to come back next year.
Of course. Because there's no way to unfan yourself. If you are a fan, your heart is in it. That's all there is to it. You have put your heart into this team. Mm-hmm. I don't understand casual fans. I'll never understand casual fans who don't actually know anything about the sport or the game.
But you know what? I don't get it, but I envy it.
Right. Because...
So good for you. And I wish I could be you because all I feel is pain. And now it's both of my teams. Because if you could unfan yourself, there's no way I would have been a Leafs fan.
No.
I had no reason to be.
Nope.
I had the Hawks. Uh-huh. And they were doing well when I became a fan of the Leafs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could have seen the pain and misery and been like, I don't need that in my life. And I thought that.
You thought that, but alas, you did otherwise.
They just latched themselves onto me, and they won't let go.
Yeah.
And
so you're always just going to be in on them.
Yeah.
Because you can't not be. Because that is your team.
Do you think Steve Dangle wants to suffer this much because of a hockey
team? So much.
No.
He's been doing this for almost 20 years.
God, I feel so bad for him.
How is he not completely broken at this point?
He is.
I just want them to win for his sake.
Right?
This dude.
We're lucky we have another team. And they are also full of pain right now, but they've had recent success.
Yeah, sure.
But his life outside of, his wife and his son and his family is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It is. I don't know how he does it. I don't think he has a choice in whether he does it or not.
Not at this point.
No, I don't think any fan of any team has a choice. I mean, there's a choice to buy into it as much as he has.
Sure.
So there's always, to an extent, there's always been, you do have a choice what you put your money on. You have your choice.
Sure, but he made a career.
100%.
So now he doesn't have a choice.
No, he doesn't now, but
it always sounds like a great idea when you're young and dumb. Always sounds like a great idea. And then they do this to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now here we are again.
Here we are.
After a Game 7. Talking about how the Leafs just pissed it away.
We've been recording for an hour and 45 minutes. So we've only talked about the playoffs round 1.
You know what? I had a lot of things to say about the Oilers. I never knew I had so many thoughts about the Edmonton Oilers until they got swept.
Come out, yeah.
And then I had a lot of thoughts about the Edmonton Oilers. And also the Leafs. But I don't even know what else I can say about them at this point. I just look at the jerseys hanging up on my wall over there where I shoot my videos, and I just see sadness.
There's just so much sadness. There's a Austin. And there's
Tavares, Kadri, and the one I wear during games is Austin.
Right.
Which is under that pile of jerseys.
It's in that pile somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's believable because it's the Leafs. But I just can't believe it at the same time.
No.
That they would do this again.
Because it seems impossible that you fail year after year after year after year after year, which can be said about the Oilers and the Leafs. I mean, the Leafs didn't get swept. They almost did, but
also the Oilers have a worse front office.
Oh, and a million times worse. You can't put this on Dubas.
No.
Dubas built this team, and it's a damn good team. They just couldn't pull it out in the end.
And people that are doing this whole revisionist history thing and hate the trade for Foligno now since it cost them a first-round pick. Y'all were happy as fuck when it happened.
Yes.
You can't just say, oh, they didn't win in the playoffs now, so we hate this trade.
No.
It was a great trade at the time.
That's not how it works.
It made sense at the time.
Uh-huh.
It was a great trade at the time. And he wasn't the problem in the playoffs.
No.
He missed a couple of games because he was injured, but he came back and he still had an impact.
Uh-huh.
He was hitting guys, and that couldn't have felt good because he's fucking injured. At least he cared. He showed that he cared. He showed that he cared, and that's more than we could say about the two highest paid guys on this team.
And people that go after players as a person after the fact, don't fuck off. Don't do that.
Leave them alone.
It's not going to solve anything. It's not.
There's
no reason it should make you feel better. It's not going to make them feel good. Obviously, just fucking stop.
Exactly.
Just don't be a weirdo.
If you want to criticize their play,
sure,
that's what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
But tagging them, going to their social media, attacking them as a human.
Don't do that.
It's gross. And their families?
How can you? Who the fuck does that? Who does that? Why would you do that?
Fucked up people.
I don't get it. I'll never get it.
Why is that your thought process? Like, oh man, this guy on my favorite team, he did something bad in the hockey game, so I am going to tag his family on Twitter and say, this guy sucks.
What does anybody get out of that?
What does that accomplish?
Nothing.
If you want to go on your Twitter account and say, so-and-so sucks, fine.
Sure.
Don't tag anybody.
No, that's fucking weird. Leave
Don't
them
tag
alone.
anybody.
Okay, so on the opposite end of that,
Okay.
I also would like to know, I would like to see Ostan asked, what happened? Where were you? Why didn't you look like you cared?
They kind of were, and they had non-answers.
Hockey answers or just like cop-out bullshit?
Mostly cop-out bullshit. Like, both him and... I don't know about Ostan as much.
As Marner more.
Yeah, it was saying, like, he thought he played well, and doesn't know what happened, and we just didn't start on time.
If I hear that from one more Leaf ever again...
If I hear that from one more fucking hockey player, I swear to fuck. You know when puck drop is. This is your life. For people watching, a lot of people have jobs or lives outside of hockey. This
is yours.
Is your job. This is your life.
Yeah.
You know when puck drop is. How do you not show up at the beginning of the game? And I understand if it's just an off day. Everybody has them. Everybody has them.
Yes.
Not this consistently.
No.
To just not show up for puck drop.
No, absolutely not.
And say, we just need to start on time.
We
need to be ready to play.
How do you go out there, watch the puck drop, and not feel like, hey, now is the time to start playing?
How are you not into that?
Like, what?
If you win a game, you go to the second round. How can you not get up for that? Like, that's incredible.
How?
This series loss would have been less devastating all around if they just purely got outplayed by the Habs.
Oh, 100%.
They came out and they were playing hard, doing everything they could, and sometimes hockey is just hockey.
Just goes that way, yeah.
That would have felt better than whatever this was.
Looking like they don't care.
Yeah.
Looking like they're not engaged.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you do. Do it.
They just had, like, dead eyes.
They did. That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't look like they cared.
Yeah.
Their heart was not in it.
Yeah.
They just weren't doing the things they needed to be doing. And it's like, how do you flip that switch?
Right.
Like, what is going to get you into the game if not puck drop?
Like, even
if not being out there.
Yeah. Even if we had saw them angry.
Right.
Would have been nice.
I would have loved to see them angry.
They just looked frustrated, and that's so different.
So different. There was no passion behind it.
Looking frustrated is defeatist.
Yes.
Looking angry is like, things aren't going their way, and I don't like this.
Yes.
And sometimes it's misplaced, as we've seen other times in the playoffs. But as long as they're not out injuring people, seeing them angry would have been something.
Such a relief.
Other than just dead eyes on the bench. And just, it's like they were going through the motions.
Yes, 100%. And I've seen that in my own team, and I hate it, and I hate it, and I hate it.
That's why we yell about Patrick Kane. Yeah, I know he was top.
That's the one.
In the league in scoring. He's top 10.
Top 10. Doesn't matter.
And I guess he was injured.
Did they release what the injury is?
No. He said it won't need surgery, but he was injured.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I guess.
Why?
But that doesn't mean you have to have dead eyes.
No, dude. No.
Like, you can see body language.
Absolutely.
It tells so much.
So much. And I don't know how not everybody can see it.
Right.
Because it's so obvious when a player doesn't have their heart in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I yelled about it a few years ago when it looked like, who was it? There was one guy on the Hawks team. It was fucking Panarin.
Mm.
He was the only one out there I don't know if it was the playoffs or not, but he was the only one out there looking like he cared and like he was trying and like...
Probably was, because that would have been the 17 playoffs when they got swept by Nashville.
Yeah, that might have been it. But Panarin, it was so fucking easy to just look at him and tell the difference between him and everybody else that was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else had their heart in it like he did.
Because you can see it. You can see when guys are like, I am here for this game and I am going to try my best to win this game for my team. And
he couldn't have done anything more.
Yeah.
But if the rest of your team won't meet you in the middle, then that's it.
Yeah. And that's kind of where Campbell was in this series.
Absolutely.
He had everything possible, which is so frustrating because all of these years of playoff losses for the Leafs, Freddie's had a game or two that he's stolen.
Yeah.
But otherwise...
Yeah.
We're like, why can't the Leafs get playoff goaltending?
Uh-huh.
Now
they had it.
The Leafs get playoff goaltending, and everybody else
they
fucks
just
off.
show up. They don't show up. Like what more needs to be done? What more can be done?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Now this very well put together team is going to have changes in the offseason because that's what happens.
Which sucks because they were a good fucking team.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the Leafs have good young guys that can come up and replace some of these players and fill some of those roles. Sure. I don't know why Adam Brooks only got a couple of games in the playoffs. He looked really good. But this would have been a very special team if they won.
Absolutely.
Even if they would have won one round.
Just one round. One round. That's it.
There were so many good stories on this team. Joe Thornton. They could have had a chance to win it for him.
Yep.
Wayne Simmons, a guy from around the GTA. Came home to play for the Leafs.
Yes.
Jason Spezza. Telling people if they claim him off waivers, he's not going to play for them. He wants to be a Leaf.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Austin Matthews, top goal scorer in the league.
Goal scorer.
Mitch Marner, top 5 in points.
Uh-huh.
Jack Campbell setting a record with wins.
John Tavares, win it for your captain.
The stories write themselves, and yet you write this story year in and year out that the Maple Leafs cannot win in the playoffs.
And it's not... It shouldn't be the way it goes, but alas, here we are. Again. Like, what would you change on this team going into the offseason? What can you change that would make them better? Literally, make a change. What? Anything.
You don't change the defense.
No.
Defense looked great. I guess you need more depth scoring. I don't know.
Nope.
Like, and now Zach Hyman needs a contract.
Come home to Chicago.
That'd be good.
Come to Chicago.
That would be good. That's my second option. If he can't stay with the Leafs, seeing him in a Hawks jersey would be really nice. But, like, you're paying these top 3 guys over $10 million each.
Yes.
And Matthews, Tavares, and Marner.
Yes.
That's not sustainable without wins.
No, absolutely not. Because why?
Everybody was mad at Willie for holding out on his contract. And yeah, that sucked that it went to December. But it's not over $10 million. And guess who fucking showed up for the playoffs?
Yeah. Mitch Marner was the reason we didn't get our original tattoos that day, right?
Yeah, because we were waiting for that contract
because
to be signed.
There were whispers and
that
such.
It was coming. And then
so
it did.
we were sitting in the car just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked into the tattoo shop like 5 minutes late.
Yep.
But we ended up getting our balloons that day.
We did.
Anyway,
we got it somewhere else, yeah.
Okay.
And I know that the hot topic right now is trade Marner.
I don't like that.
No?
I don't like that at all.
No?
I don't think
That's not the...
I don't think that's the answer.
What is the answer then?
That I don't have, but I don't think that it's training Marner. Training?
Training.
Trading. Sure, train him a little more. That's the answer. I don't know.
I just don't see how you don't.
Yeah. I mean, I see it. I see why people want to do that. It would just be upsetting to see him in anything but a Leafs.
Scoring wingers.
Jorsey.
Scoring wingers are a lot easier to come by than a John Tavares.
Yes.
Or an absolute tank of a human and scoring center that is Austin Matthews, who was very good on faceoffs in the playoffs, so, give him that, whatever.
Sure.
Those two guys are a lot harder to replace than having a guy who can pass the puck to Matthews to score. But who takes that contract?
Right.
And yeah, it sucks losing Marner because he puts up a ton of points in the regular season. But yeah, what else do? You have to shed salary somewhere so you can fit other guys and hopefully sign Zach Hyman.
Yeah.
You have Freddie coming off the books. There's that.
Where's he going?
Fuck if I know. Edmonton?
Imagine
he goes there and wins the cup.
I was going to say, what if Freddie goes and he's the answer to the Edmonton?
That's the only change they make and they win the cup. Do you know how fitting that would be?
Oh, dear.
There are tears in my eyes right now.
I see them.
Just thinking about how fitting that would be for the Leafs if Freddie leaves, goes to Edmonton. It's the only change they make. Is it? The only change they make because they refuse to do anything else.
That's all they do.
And they win the cup.
Oh, boy.
Or win a playoff round. Round. Maybe two.
Just that.
That would be
painful.
So fitting. I don't think anybody would be surprised.
No.
And I think it would probably get the same reaction as the Game 7 loss did. Just.
That's all you got.
What else can Leafs fans say at this point about anything that happens?
Nothing.
Everything that can be said has been said.
Yep.
At one point or another with this team.
Because it's the same shit every fucking year.
Just in a different way.
No matter what the team looks like.
They find new and creative ways to lose.
Right. They've got to run out of ways at some point. There are not infinite ways they can lose. At some point, something has to work. Something. What? I don't know. At all. Because they've been given the world and they can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
But again, I can say this about Edmonton too. Both of these teams.
Also that. But one is more willing to make changes.
Absolutely.
Than the other.
Yes. I don't know.
Although one has the best player in the world. And the other has very good players. And some of the best. But not the best player in the world. And they just run out a tandem of Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith.
Oh, what a mess.
Cheaper goaltenders that could have been had that would do better. And they just didn't do that.
You know, it's crazy to me that Mike Smith is still playing, and I don't know why.
Too. I mean, he's old, so.
Yeah.
He's 38?
I don't know.
I think he's 38.
But I can't believe he's still being offered.
39 even.
He's still being offered contracts.
By Edmonton. By Edmonton.
Oh, dear.
So that was the first round of the playoffs.
Jesus Christ, that's all we've talked about. We've been recording for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
You know what? lightning round it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Through the second round since it's not done yet. So, Colorado and Vegas. Colorado is up 2-1. Who wins?
Colorado.
How many games?
What's the series at?
2-1.
2-1. You said that.
So it would have to at least go 5.
Yep. I say 6 because Vegas is going to throw them for a loop.
I agree. Islanders, Bruins. Tied 2-2. Who wins?
I don't want them to, but I think Bruins going to do it.
How many?
6.
6?
Mm-hmm. Because Islanders
so they're
going to
win 2 straight, eh?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to say Bruins, but I say it goes 7. I think the Islanders will grab another one.
Okay.
Carolina, Tampa. Tampa leads 3-1.
I really want Carolina to do it, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to do it in 6 as well.
So Carolina will grab one more?
Yep.
That brings us back to Canada. Montreal, Winnipeg. Montreal leads 2-0.
I think Montreal is going to sweep them.
Sweep them? I sure fucking hope they sweep them.
Me too.
Because we didn't even talk about that shit.
Nope.
With Mark Scheifele just trying to take Jake Evans' head off in game
Almost
number 1.
succeeded. Almost.
Like, what the fuck?
Why would you do that?
And people defending that
How? It was, he came literally from the other crease.
Yeah.
To the goal to knock Jake Evans on his face.
Made no attempt to play the puck.
No attempt. He could have poked at it. He might have prevented that goal.
At least look like you're trying to play the puck.
No.
There was no effort there.
Fucking leveled Jake Evans. Left his feet to do so on Jake Evans' 25th birthday.
And it was his
right after his first
playoff goal. The game was over at that point.
It was. There was nothing that they could have done.
He'd scored the empty netter. And
sealed the deal.
He got 4 games for it. My brain is conflicted on that.
Why so?
Because I feel like he should have gotten more.
Okay.
They should have said, if anything, he's done for this playoff round. I don't know if they can do that, but they should have. He won't play Montreal again in this year's playoffs.
Okay.
No matter how many games it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I am beyond shocked it was more than 2 games.
I agree. I agree.
Beyond shocked. Especially since Ryan Reeves got 2 games for kneeling on Graves' head.
Right on his freaking head.
After cross-checking Grubauer in the head.
Back of the head.
And then tackling Graves to the ground and then kneeling on his head. 2 games.
Which is clearly intentional. Clearly.
2 games.
Like, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
That was what he was aiming to do, and he did it.
Yeah. So, Scheifele getting 4 with no other history was shocking to me.
Yes.
But I can't say that I'm happy about it because it should have been more.
Because it should have been right.
But I am surprised
that it was as much as it is.
Yeah. Like, pleasantly surprised, but not happy.
Yeah. Not happy, no.
It's just
very not happy.
The inconsistency from the Department of Player Safety.
That's all it is.
That throws us all for a loop. And that's why we're all so mad at any punishment that gets handed out because it's never consistent.
It's never appropriate.
Ever. It's like sometimes they punish the injury. So if a guy is hurt or he's knocked out, you'll get more games. Mm-hmm. Other times they punish the player. Other times they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And you just get a fine.
$5,000.
Like, where's the consistency? If anybody else was this inconsistent with their job, they'd be fired.
100%, yes.
Yet the league loves George Peros. And they're just happy with the job that's being done.
I don't see how this is acceptable to anyone.
Yeah.
Who is above George Peros that is still letting him do this bullshit?
Gary.
Fucking change it. Like you said in the other podcast, you can't have an ex-goon in charge of the Department of Player Safety.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
Doesn't.
It doesn't.
Like, it shouldn't be a former player.
No.
It shouldn't.
It should be a third party.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense. If a guy appeals his suspension like Kadri did for getting 8 games for hitting Justin Falk, 8 games for being Kadri.
Right.
Like, yeah, the hit was bad.
But it wasn't 8 games bad.
But that's also a hit that you see in, like, every game. It just doesn't always end up with the injury.
I didn't think it was that bad of a hit, honestly.
Me either. And I feel like I need to go back and rewatch it because everybody's like, yeah, 8
so
games
bad.
is right.
I don't know.
But he appealed it, and the appeal goes to Bettman.
Okay.
How does that make sense?
Because he's Sparrow's
How would
boss.
he turn that over? And if he upholds it, then they can go to a third party and appeal it again.
Fucking insane.
How does this make sense? By the time...
Can you appeal somebody else's punishment? Like, could they appeal against Tom Wilson's ruling?
I don't think so.
Like, hey, this should have been more than a fucking fine.
That's what set this all off. If they had done the right thing then, we probably wouldn't see all this shit. But, like, by the time that Kadri's done going through all of that runaround, he's just going to be back in the playoffs because the 8 games will be up.
Yep.
Like, it's so stupid.
Makes no sense.
So dumb.
So dumb.
And yeah, Kadri needs to control himself in the playoffs.
Of course. He gets suspended every year in the playoffs. He always does some little stupid move, and it gets him suspended.
And that's why he's not in Toronto anymore.
That's exactly why he's not in Toronto anymore.
So nobody's letting Kadri off the hook here.
No, ever.
But we want consistency.
Yeah.
That's it. The bar is on the ground.
Yes. We'll have to dig to get below it.
Yeah. All you gotta do is step over it. But you just keep running into it.
Step.
Just keep running into it.
You can't even lift your fucking foot.
No, that'd be too much effort. Too much. Too much thought would have to go into that.
Yes.
To be like, I need to lift my foot.
Lift the foot. Move it forward. Put the foot down. I've made this into too much of a visual in my head.
It's just so frustrating. Time and time again, the inconsistency in the rulings.
Absolutely.
And that's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. People would not be this upset every single time there's a punishment if there was consistency. Because you would know what's coming.
Yeah. Like,
you don't.
There's that hit. It's worth 5 games.
Yeah.
Hey, look, he got 5 games.
Whoa.
Hey, that's a hit. Hey, 20 games.
Yeah.
Keep that man out of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look. It actually happened.
I feel like if you do something worth 20 games, you should just get a season.
Yeah.
Like, why would you...
What did Tom Wilson do to get 20 games?
I don't remember. There's so many things at this point.
So many.
And that was like last year, so that it doesn't exist in my head.
Gone.
It's just frustrating, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of the playoffs play out.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm sure that the second round will be done by next week when we record again, so we'll be able to talk about that one then. See how it has gone.
Uh-huh. What are you, did you give predictions, or did you just take mine?
We mostly agreed, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I hope Montreal sweeps Winnipeg too after that bullshit. So yeah. Playoffs have a lot of things to say about the Canadian teams. The rest of them are just kind of all doing their thing.
Yeah.
They're just getting through their series.
Walking down the road.
Not as much drama.
Canada.
And then there's Canada. And everything that could go wrong is happening in Canada.
So many Canadian issues.
Why? We finally get this really cool all-Canadian division and it's just blowing up.
Doesn't matter.
Because that's just how it goes. But if you would like to follow us on things, you can follow us on Twitter, which is @VF Center Ice Pod, or Instagram, which is at From Center Ice Pod. Or you can go to our website, FromCenterIce.com.
That's the one.
Or the YouTube, youtube.com/C/FromCenterIce. I don't know why there has to be a C in there.
I think it stands for channel.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
But it would be so much easier if this was youtube.com/
It really would.
It might redirect you anyway, but
it might.
It's annoying. But you can follow us on all of the things. If you are listening to the audio-only version of this, it is also uploaded to the YouTube channel, and you can see us talking and ranting about the Canadian teams and how they are run.
And me trying to drink a mic.
Or that, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on here.
There is. Or if you are watching on YouTube and you prefer audio only, if you just stumbled across this, you can find this wherever you get your podcast, pretty much.
Anywhere.
And if it's not somewhere where you listen to podcasts, then let me know and I will make sure to get it there for you. Oh, gosh. The rest of the playoffs.
Playoffs are so stressful, man.
They are. I don't even
and our
have
team
a dog
aren't
in the
even
fight anymore.
exactly.
And yet it's still somehow stressful.
Super stressful.
Because I have teams that I don't want to win.
Yes, so. Exactly. It's not teams that I'm rooting for per se. Mm-hmm. It's more rooting against teams that I don't.
That's how this round is now playing out. Sports.
Sports.
So
Sports are fun.
Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs if your team is still in it. And it's not one that we want to lose. I hope they do well. If it is one we want to lose, I'm sorry, but I don't want them to do well. And we'll catch y'all next week, probably.
Next week.
Until then, bye!